Good afternoon. Welcome to Ripples Rising, empowering voices creating waves of change. I'm really excited. I just met this lady last week through LinkedIn, and we're going to talk with Gail Weatherill, RN. She's known as the Dementia nurse. She's devoted over 45 years as a nurse and more than 2 decades specializing in dementia training. She's the author of the Caregiver's Guide to Dementia, practical advice for caring for yourself and your loved one. She's also featured right now on the Amazon Prime documentary No Country for Old People. She is a tireless advocate for elders and a founding member of ROAR for Long-Term Care, a grassroots movement demanding respect, oversight, accountability, and reform in the long-term care industry. Known for her straight talk and compassionate insight, Gail brings forth lived experiences and activist fire to the national conversation on elder care. Welcome, Gail Weatherill.
Ta-da! Thanks for having me, Jackie.
I'm so excited. You are something else. When I just met you last week, it's like we are so much on the same page of this endemic of ageism. I mean, we're all going to get there, and there's got to be more conversations about it. So you've been specializing in nursing and dementia care for a very long time, and I'm really excited about having you with your credentials on here because it's a very important topic to me as well, and we'll discuss that later. But let me ask you a couple questions. You worked in intensive care units for a very long time. What drew you particularly into dementia care?
Well, I worked in critical care for a long time, and when they asked me why I was leaving after 17 years, my answer was I got tired of sticking needles in dead people. And that answer went over like a lead balloon, but every critical care nurse I know knew exactly what I meant. We were doing aggressive treatments to people we should not be doing aggressive treatments on. So I went from there into home health and hospice, and that's when the magic happened. I started encountering individuals with dementia and seeing up close and personal what they were going through, and even more so what their families were going through. The dementia folks have always been a favorite audience of mine, and I call them an audience because when I'm around them, it's showtime. I go to the nursing home and nothing's going on. I'm like, it's showtime, baby. And we'll spend the next 20, 30 minutes, me talking trash and who knows what goes on. And everybody's laughing and having a big time.
So even though you're retired from nursing, you are still going to homes and facilities and working and volunteering with these dementia people, huh?
Well, I wouldn't call me retired from nursing. Nursing's not something it's not something I do. It's who I am.
Yeah.
And as best as I can tell, I'll be retiring on my way to the cemetery. But in the meantime, I'm here to get some things done, to share what I've learned through all these misadventures I've been through, and to make a difference.
Yes. You are a rippler.
Well, maybe a tidal wave every now and then.
Tidal wave. I like that. So what have you learned about the long-term care system, and what do families need most to understand when we're in a crisis moment?
Oh boy, there's a big question. What I have seen is what we've seen in all of healthcare. There's been a major movement away from a service industry to become an investment opportunity. And that's what's happened to long-term care in this country. Investment firms are gobbling up the mom and pop nursing homes, and all of a sudden profits are the primary objective.
Wow.
And for families, what I tell them is educate yourself and be cynical from the get-go.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
don't have to be aggressive and ugly, but you know, admissions counselor may speak with forked tongue, read the fine print and
Yeah.
don't assume that these people have your loved one's best interest at heart.
Oh, that's hard. Because you're
Mhm.
trusting these people. You're trusting these people that are being paid to care for your vulnerable loved one. But you're saying don't assume that's their top priority.
It's true. Well, I mean, the frontline caregivers, the aides, and the nurses, um, many of them are there for all the right reasons, but they've been squeezed so hard as, you know, having enough bodies on hand to do the work costs a lot of money.
Costs a
And if
lot
you
of
want to keep your profits up, the best way to do that is have a skeleton crew.
money.
And so each person is expected to do the work of two or three people. And what does that do for motivation over time? Nothing good.
As well as the physical health of the workers there, having to change the bedding, move the people for their backs and all that, right? People don't think about that,
Absolutely.
but the
Um,
nurses, the CNAs, they're all overworked and underpaid.
there's the understatement of the century. It
Yeah.
really is. They have the number one, if you go back to statistics and occupational hazards, nurses' aides have the biggest rate of back injuries across any professions.
Uh-huh.
And back injuries aren't something you have one day and 2 weeks from now you're over it. It's a long-term thing.
Mm-hmm. 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 Well, I introduced you as an activist. I met you as an activist, as a fellow activist now. I'm not just out here trying to peddle a book, which is great, but I'm an activist as well as you. So, what about this stage of your life has fueled your drive to be an activist?
That's a great question. Well, first of all, my daughters are grown and launched. So
Okay.
I'm not carrying anything there. Yeah, man, they're supposed to be supporting me by now. And the other advantage is I don't have anything to prove to anybody
Boy,
at this point. There
yeah.
is no one I have to keep happy except the people that I serve. They're the only ones I have to keep happy. And when I say things that, ruffle feathers, it's like, well, what are you going to do to me? You've already done everything evil to me you could do. And here I am still standing. So take your best shot. I'm ready.
Ah, I love that. My guitar intro for my show is called The Last Stand.
Yeah, baby.
The Last Stand. And that's
That's
what we're doing. Um, so tell me about some of the things that you have seen recently. I mean, I know there's before COVID, after COVID. What have you seen, experienced more so in the last 2 years, month and a half, I mean, year and a half, as far as the care, the aides, the people? What do you see?
oh, it's well, here's the thing, and especially with COVID, you can, and I say this to families too, and they're planning, you can do almost anything for the short term when you're in an emergency. You know, COVID hit and it was god awful. But, you know, it's been 5 years since COVID first hit,
Right.
and we're still playing the same game that we were back then.
Yeah.
Only the players who managed to survive through COVID, they're tired. They're tired, and they're sick of having no respect, of being considered expendable, and it's just it's just a sad situation. I mean, and for me, it all boils down to the more and more and more that return on investment is the priority. And as every year goes by, I see that priority get bigger and bigger, and the interests of the people they claim they are serving get smaller and smaller.
That's sad but excellent. Gail, you talk about return on investment. My background being in commercial real estate, that's what we talk about in real estate, your return on investment in buildings. And you talk about return on investment in businesses and
Yeah,
the businesses of the people
yeah,
on the and I have a new saying came up with a couple of weeks ago. The froth is at the top.
yeah,
The froth, like a beer, like a head of beer, the froth is at the top on the backs of the workers, of the
yes.
staff workers, and our elderly, of our loved ones. And the froth is at the top of
Mhm.
the money. The money.
Yeah. As we always said in nursing, well, and in other parts of life, you know what rolls downhill. And when you look at the whole scheme, you look at the owners, the investors, the administrative staff. Oh boy, there's a layer that gets their piece of the pie, you better
They do.
believe it. And management folks. And then you have the people who actually do the work. And in a lot of models people talk about, and oh man, I'll do anything for a good nurse's aide. I'd go to bat for any of them. But when you think about it, you can't think of them as the bottom of the totem pole, because stuff rolls downhill, but they're not at the very bottom of the hill. At the very bottom of the hill is the patriot who fought in World War II, who went on to build the world that you and I live in today,
Yes.
who raised their family, paid their taxes,
Worked.
were productive, effective members of the community, and as soon as ageism and ableism caught up to them,
Throw away.
they're throwaway.
Throw
They
away.
they're absolutely throwaway. They're at the bottom of the heap.
Yeah.
Put them in a warehouse,
Warehouse.
lock them away, and we don't have to look at them or think about it.
Yeah. So I dare ask you, Gail, what's going to happen to you 10, 15 years from now? What's
Why do you think I'm going so crazy working on this stuff, man?
exactly. Who's going to
In
take
the
care of us?
in the first board meeting for ROAR, the Advocacy Group for Long-Term Care Reform, I'm
Yes.
looking around and there's a lot of people who appear to be a good bit younger than me. And I'm like, all right, y'all, we got to get this done because, it's going to be a couple of minutes and yours truly is going to be up in there.
A
So,
couple of minutes. I'm looking at a couple of years. You're looking at minutes.
yeah, you never know. But anyway, oh man, I'm going to be one of those that, um, knock on wood, when I'm 94, they're still going to be going, oh my God, when is she going to go sit down?
Well, sticking around just in spite of us all. Despite
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
Yeah, and it's going to take people like you, like me, like people who have real. I'm going to say, I dare say, I use the word traumatized for what happened to my family at home care. They
yeah,
were, we're middle American, whatever, well off, taken care of, everything in
yeah,
a row, except how to best qualify a home care agency or a caregiver. And we call
mhm,
the home care agency because, hey, I don't have time to call three or four. I just go with one I'm referred to, and
yeah,
oh, the accounts person was embezzling money later, so forget that one. We moved this caregiver over to another agency, and then come to find out later that she disclosed to me that she'd been in jail for meth. And that's why her teeth were so nice, because they were not real. And this is who
Isn't
was
that
taking care of
special?
my dad for like 6 years. And the agency knew this, but they didn't want to lose his financial account. All about the
Oh,
money.
no, baby. Heck no. You put as much duct tape and bubble gum on it as you can, but by George, you don't lose that account.
Don't lose that account. Oh, and they care. No, they never came out. Mm-mm. No, no. Tell me about the dementia. Communication can be very challenging with dementia people. What strategies do you recommend? And I ask this because honestly, yesterday I was with my brother in law and his wife has dementia. We brought food to their house and she just sat there. I mean, I've seen her progressively get dementia over the last 5 years, and now it's difficult to get her out. It's better to be in a quiet place, and she
Right.
kind of played with her food. It was quiet. I like the quiet as well. And there's no conversation with her. There's not been conversation with her for the past year because she cannot hear well, not understand. I just say, I love you and good to see you, and I love your purple shirt. And what do we do? How do we communicate with dementia people?
Well, the to me, the key to communicating with folks with brain failure, which is the best way I know to describe it. We talk about heart failure, we talk about kidney failure. These folks have brain failure.
Okay.
And, we wouldn't try to talk someone with heart failure into understanding us better or having better numbers, having a better ejection fracture. So, why do we think we can talk someone in brain failure into understanding? We can't. We have to throw that away. And it's so hard. And when you're looking at this person that you've looked at for your entire life, and to understand that they are still in there, because I promise you they are.
Hmm.
They absolutely are.
Hmm.
But they are no longer capable of communicating with you in the ways that you're used to hearing and receiving.
Okay.
So, we have to go to them. I will tell you, I nonverbal communication is it with people with dementia.
Okay.
And that, that could be a good thing or a bad thing, but it's all about your tone of voice,
Mm-hmm.
your attitude. I mean, it's all contagious because they're looking at the world and thinking, okay, what am I supposed to do with whatever I'm seeing and hearing, you know? And they're trying to decode it. And they pick up. If we're anxious, if we're frustrated, guess who else is going to be anxious and frustrated?
Oh,
You
absolutely.
know, it's like, I love you. I think I'll go outside and take a couple of deep breaths and come back in a few minutes and we'll work on something else. But I always say, for me personally, I always say the windows are the eyes, are the windows to the soul.
Yes.
And I can sit with someone with dementia and we're not looking over here or over there I mean, we are eyeball to eyeball. Mm, mm. And there are things that you feel. I
Yes.
I always go back to, I always say what the brain can't remember, the heart can never forget.
Oh, wow.
What the brain can't remember, the heart can never forget.
Right.
And you can be there and be with them and be saying things like, I love you. I'm thinking about the time we got in the car at 11 o'clock at night and went to 7-Eleven and bought hot dogs and did whatever. And they feel the emotional energy of that.
Huh.
They may not understand the words, but they feel it.
Oh,
And this is one thing that being in an ICU for so long taught me. We we communicate not just with words, but with our spirits, with our personhood, and with our presence.
yes.
And presence is what people are looking for. That's what they respond to. They don't respond to a list of things they need to do. That they don't respond to, do you remember? They respond to quiet, calm, loving presence.
Mm, mm. That's very important to remember, and especially if a loved one is anxious or irritable.
Oh yes, that happens.
So
Well,
let's
I'll tell you.
yeah,
Um,
if they are irritable when you're trying to be a calm presence, but then they're saying horrible, nasty things to you,
yes.
how do you respond to that?
Well, the thing to keep in mind is that all behaviors have meaning.
Mm.
Um, there is one factor, and it's kind of like, remember when our kids were little and they went off to kindergarten and the teacher was like, oh, little Johnny, he's so well behaved and he's so precious. And you're going, I don't know what kid you're looking at, but blah, blah, blah. The truth is, we save those difficult behaviors for the people we love and trust the most.
Right.
I can show my behind to mama because I know she loves me and she's not going to leave me. It's the same thing with people with dementia. They will let it all hang out. Oh, what a great blessing. But that's just the way that it is.
It is.
Um, and it's, you can say don't take it personally. It's like, well, yeah, that's a lot easier said than done. And for me, all of that goes back to my number one push for any caregiver
Okay.
is the best thing you can do for your loved one living with dementia is to aggressively care for your own mental health.
Oh,
Your mental health. Your personhood is your primary tool.
yeah.
Studies have shown the number one factor in determining quality of life for people living with dementia is the mental stability of their primary caregiver. So when we say, "Oh, no, I don't need time off this week. I can listen. Maybe you don't need time off, but your loved one needs you to take some time off."
Yeah.
And if we have to look at it from that angle, then that's what we need to do.
Yeah.
Um, and it's because to me, who the heck got a manual for how to deal with dementia? We didn't grow up seeing our mothers and grandmothers deal with dementia. We,
No.
we don't have any role models to go with this. We're all flying by the seat of our pants.
Yes,
So
we are.
what do you do with that? You educate yourself from reliable resources because God knows there's plenty of hoo-ha out there. You set up a support network, and I'll tell you, I recommend therapy for anybody. Anybody, I don't care who you are.
Yes.
To me, it's like if I went out in the street and got hit by a bus, would I kind of lay there for a while and then, peel myself up off the pavement and limp on home and say, well, yeah, well, really, it's not that bad. And it's probably, yeah, I can make it till tomorrow. No, we wouldn't do that. We'd be calling a squad. Get over here, brother, and take care of me.
Exactly.
Well, having a loved one with dementia and facing that challenge is the mental equivalent to being hit by a bus.
It is. It is.
And professional help is one of the best gifts you can give your loved one.
Yes. 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 Because if you don't take care of yourself,
Nope.
you can't take care of your loved one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, you're worth it. I mean, you weren't born to be miserable. You you know, you weren't born to be sacrificed on the altar of dementia. No, you're a human being. You have just as many rights to happiness and well-being as your loved one does. And frankly, in all my years of nursing, all 45 of them, dementia makes every other disease process I have seen look like a walk in the park. And in my experience, I have seen caregivers consistently suffer just as much, and in many cases more, than the individual with the brain failure.
You're
And
correct.
that matters.
Yes, I have a friend right now. She's like 67, taking care of her 92-year-old father, who is now in a nursing home the past year, but she gained 10 years within 3 years of him living with her, and there was no respect for her.
Yeah.
She cooked 3 times a day, did dishes 3 times a day. She did everything, and he would never say thank you. He would never say appreciate. He would not say anything like that. And he's still very demanding. And I just said,
Mm-hmm.
you need to set boundaries and you don't need to go there. Set boundaries
Mm-hmm.
and quit subjecting yourself to that. Be kind, say, I love you, walk and bye bye. Time
Peace
to
out, brother.
bye.
Good luck with all that. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of that goes back to, I mean, 90%, at least in the United States, 90% of caregivers are women. And
Yes.
what have women been socialized to believe? We are nurturers, we are sacrificers, we can do it all. We've got all this garbage floating around in our head.
Yes.
So our default, I mean, if I could wave a magic wand and take away one mentality from caregivers, it would be the guilt factor.
Right.
I'm not doing enough. I'm doing it wrong.
You know,
It's not true. It's
well,
not true.
it's, my solace was after my dad died and time, and my mom had passed before him, but I did the best I could.
Yep.
I wish I'd known more, but I didn't, and I did the best I could.
Mm-hmm.
And probably on this note, we're probably about out of time, so we better say bye bye. But Gail is going to be a somewhat regular on Ripples Rising because she's always got a lot to say, and we've got great conversations here, and we're going to work on changing the United States anyway. If we don't change the world, we're going to make things happen. We're
That's
going to
right, baby.
make ripples and tidal waves happen. This is Jacklyn Ryan with Gail Weatherill, and I would encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube, Ripples Rising. I'll be on LinkedIn and Facebook, and check out Gail's book also, The Dementia Nurse, Caregiver's Guide to Dementia, Practical Advice for Caring for Yourself and Your Loved One. And her point was take care of you first so you can take care of your loved ones second. Thank you, Gail.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. I'll be back.
Yes.